is gonna be beautiful today. I'm really excited. Yesterday, the heat index was over 100. It was absolutely miserable. These poor guys. I know, it's because it's nice out. They're all very loud. It was just miserable, and today's Sunday. So Saturdays is like our day to kind of sleep in and hang out before we started doing anything, because we knew inevitably it was gonna be so hot we couldn't do much. Today, the high is like 86 degrees or something, 84. I don't even know that I'm gonna need my fan really this morning, but it's gonna be amazing. Well, good morning. Are you guys ready to get out today because it's not so hot? Are you ready? Say, we're ready to get out, Mom. Still have a couple of the babies. Supposed to, hopefully today, the last 3 are gonna go home, but they may not. They were supposed to be picked up this weekend, but I'm not sure. Waffles went home yesterday, so we are a smaller crowd today than we have been. What do you think, girlfriend? Marshmallow is gonna be a screamer. Ryan, I hope you're ready for that. Actually, I think that's Chunk this morning. Maybe it's Miracle. They're all super loud. It's really funny. So Waffles went to his new home yesterday, and I asked the new owner to send me a picture of him when he kind of settles in. She said yesterday he was still kind of freaked out and scared. Their livestock guardian dog wanted to be his best friend, and he was not interested. So I'll show you guys a picture when we get it. Well, good morning. Are we down a goat? Let's have breakfast. Come on, my little ones. You guys are so small. We are down to 2 baby goats left to sell, Chai and Andy, and my plan is to repost everyone again Monday in the goat groups and see if we can get them out of here. Really, Andy is the one that I need him to go, so it will kind of be a, hey, please come get this goat situation. And that's, I think, something that a lot of people don't really talk about is like, we had the most kids we've ever had, and what do you do if you can't get rid of them? My goal is to get to where we at least have 1 less goat, possibly 2 less goats, with the fact that we lost Cece. Good morning, babies. This is what happens when you have dairy animals. Come on, guys. Bino, come on, buddies. Here you go. Come on, buddy. Are you yelling at me this morning? Maybe. So this has been our recurring problem, is the pigs are dumping their water several times a day. It's like she just dumped all that out. And it's not because, that time it's because the bowl was close to it, but that's not been the issue. It's been that they are dumping it instead of the pool water. Like, they don't want to be in the pool, they want to be in the mud for some sunscreen. And so if the ground is dry, inevitably, they dump all the water out, which is pretty frustrating. I'm hoping to plan with the babies is if those 3 go, then I'll be down to Chai and Andy, and like I've talked to you guys about, I really don't want to have to wean another baby. I don't want to have to deal with the screaming again. We will if we have to, if he ends up staying. But what I would like to do is get him sold, get those 3 gone to their new home, and move Chad back in with the girls if I don't sell her. Not as horrible of a thing to have to raise up another doe, because her value only increases the older she gets to a certain point. So I can sell her for about double when she's breeding age, and I can breed her. So if I sold her as a bred doe, I can make about twice if somebody's willing to buy them. And the thing that I've run into is right now, people just aren't spending money given the economy, which is, we'll talk a little bit more today about kind of how all that is affecting us as far as like selling babies and those kind of things. All right, is it your turn? Good morning, sir. Is it your turn? Yeah. Your turn for breakfast? Okay, let's have breakfast and get milk. Show you guys something that I've been doing. Most of my girls will not eat pellets on the stand, which is what I would prefer them to eat instead of the sweet feed. So I put the sweet feed at the bottom and put the pellets over it, so they have to eat down the pellets to get to the sweet feed. They nose it out of the way, but for the most part, this is working, which is really nice. To get them to eat a little bit better. And I was gonna show you my setup really quick. All of this is linked in the description. So I have a Dancha Farms pump, and it just attaches to a mason jar, which is really great. And then I have a strip pail and an extra jar because we're getting a little bit more than half a gallon. So that's really, and then I have these plastic lids because they do better than the metal lids. This is the system. And my stool broke in half, so I'm gonna sit on a bucket. So if you know a good place I could buy a milking stool, hit me up in the comments. And then of course I just use baby wipes to clean the udder. So it's kind of my setup. I've done full videos on like milking steps, complete equipment, my whole setup and stuff. If you want to look at those, probably just search our channel name and like milking, and there will be several videos. So let's get to it. Production's definitely down today because it was so hot yesterday. I'm hoping that this week we get an increase in production and it'll finally be cool enough that I can actually use the milk. Right now it's so hot that I can't get the milk cooled down fast enough. It starts to get that goaty flavor because it's just hot. So I haven't been using it. The pigs have been drinking all of it. Let's see if we can get them some bowls, and then we gotta fill up water. The problem has been they kind of get too excited. Okay, so the camera's overheating a little bit. Go let everybody out for the day. I think the biggest thing about owning dairy that nobody really talks about is you have to be able to sell your babies, or you have to have a lot of space to keep them. This wasn't a huge issue for me when I was like building my herd. I started with 4 foundation does, I guess 6 foundation does, and then built on. We had space. We have more space grass-wise here. Are you guys gonna come out for the day? Can you come out? Come on! Mr. Andy. Sister's being mean. Good morning. Come on. See if they'll go out on the nets today. They really wanted to be out yesterday in the shade. So when you're only having maybe 2 or 3 babies a year, it seems pretty simple to get rid of them. If you have a good 4-H program in your area and you price yourself right, usually you'll be able to sell those babies to 4-H families. But boys are incredibly hard to get rid of because most people only need 1 buck. They don't, we have 2 because we have the number of girls that we have just for some genetic diversity so that we could keep 2nd generation and breed and not have to line breed. Come on, babies. Come on, baby goats. Come on, babies. Here we come, Mom. We're doing it. Coming out to eat some grass this morning. Mom needs to clean her house. She does. She's not gonna hang out with you today. Oh, look at Padme. Come on. But like for us this year with 13 babies, that's a lot of babies to find new homes for. And you want them to go to quality homes. And you also want to be able to recoup some of your expenses. And we've talked about price in a different video. But that's the thing. So what do you do if they don't sell? And so what's our plan? So for me, doelings are not a huge issue if we can't sell them, but that's usually not a problem. Like I have never had trouble selling a doeling, ever. But if you have a heavy buck year, that's something that you have to consider. What I've found successful is selling pets, neutered males, and I just say they can go as companion animals or as pets, and normally somebody will come pick up a pet for their kid or a companion animal for like their horse or for their buck. They'll buy a buck from someone else and come pick up that pet from me. And that's really what we're gonna try to sell Andy as, is a pet. I really hate that because he's pulled. He comes from such nice lines, but he's not registerable right now because Waffles wasn't registered. And so the people that bought Waffles are going to register him. That could take 6 months, and I could be waiting on that to be able to say, okay, now you can register him. I think if he was registered, he would have sold because S'more sold really fast, and Waffles. That was what was so bizarre, was I had 2 buyers for S'more and Waffles within probably 2 or 3 hours of posting that ad. And I'm sorry, it's a little bit breezy today, but none on the girls. One of the girls, Oatmeal, ended up selling through a friend. Like they were like, hey, do you still have a doeling left? And that was somebody through 4-H that came and got her. I've had no interest really in Chai and none in Andy. So what we will try to do is go back and say, hey, this little guy would make a great pet. I'll sell him intact, but I'll also band him and see if we can get him gone this week. Because my plan is if I can get him gone this week, if I can get Ryan's 3, if she'll come pick them up whenever she's ready, and they're gone, then Chai moves back in with the main herd, and we'll keep posting her for sure. I'm not gonna like stop trying to sell her, but she can just hang out with her mom. Nani's not producing a ton of milk, and so even if Nani has to wean her naturally and and she's not weaned when I put her back, then that's fine, and we'll do that. We have room for a doe because we lost Cece. I want to reduce my boy numbers, so I really don't need to keep Andy. He needs to go. Another option is I could take Andy to the sale barn and sell him, and he'd probably sell for $25. Maybe 50, and I would get him out of here. I don't like selling at the sale barn because you just never know who's buying. I get to vet my buyers if they come out to the farm a little bit. I get to talk to them about what environment the goat is going to go into, and those kind of things. So I know they're not going to go for meat or something like that. So that's another option for you if you are going to do dairy, is you can take babies that you can't sell to the sale barn. You will not get very much money out of them, and you don't always know what kind of environment they're going to go to, but a lot of the bigger breeders, it's what happens, because you can't keep every single goat that you breed because you run out of space and you can't take care of them well. Like I said, it's always easier to keep girls than it is boys because girls tend to retain their value and be more valuable over time, y'all. I know, Mom's not been outside very much because it's been so hot. That's kind of the thing that you have to consider, is if you're gonna breed a bunch of goats, you have to have somewhere for all those babies to go. You have to have built relationships with people in your area to sell them. You have to price them right, and like we talked about, that's not gonna cover your costs to raise them, especially as you're first starting out. Even if you have really great lines, if you haven't developed a reputation as a breeder, that's kind of what's gonna happen. So you have to have a plan for all these babies.